Good evening and welcome to our daily devotional reading. A special welcome to the members of our Make-Believe Monastery, that is, those subscribed and or commenting. A reminder and maybe information for those who are just visiting us tonight. We are reading through the authentic work of Plato in 1 year. Reading 4 pages a day, and you are most welcome to depart after the Platonic reading. I will say a few things afterwards, and you are also welcome to stay for that. Unfortunately, there will not be tea in the kitchen afterwards, because this is a make-believe monastery. That being said, let's get into the monastic feel, calm, devotional, quiet, with open hearts and minds, ready to receive the divine words of Plato. Stranger. And do they not profess to make men able to dispute about law and about politics in general? Theaetetus. Why, no one would have anything to say to them if they did not make these professions. Stranger. In all and every art, what the craftsman ought to say in answer to any question is written down in a popular form, and he who likes may learn. Theaetetus. I suppose that you are referring to the precepts of Protagoras about wrestling and the other arts. Curious statement. I'm just going to reread it again, or reread it, or read it again. In all and every art, what the craftsman ought to say in answer to any question is written down in a popular form, and he who likes may learn. Stranger, yes, my friend, and about a good many other things. In a word, it is not the art of disputation. In a word, is not the art of disputation a power of disputing about all things? Theaetetus. Certainly, there does not seem to be much which is left out. Stranger. But oh, my dear youth, do you suppose this possible? For perhaps your young eyes may see things which to our duller sight do not appear. Theaetetus. To what are you alluding? I do not think that I understand your present question. Stranger. I ask whether anybody can understand all things. The other translation has it as, I ask whether it's possible for any human being to know everything. Theaetetus. Happy would mankind be if such a thing were possible. Socrates. So Socrates is chiming in. But how can anyone who is ignorant dispute in a rational manner against him who knows? But how can anyone who is ignorant dispute in a rational manner against him who knows? Theaetetus, he cannot. Stranger, then why has the sophistical art such a mysterious power? Theaetetus, to what do you refer? Stranger, how do the sophists make young men believe in their supreme and universal wisdom? For if they neither disputed nor were thought to dispute rightly, or being thought to do so were deemed no wiser for their controversial skill, then, to quote your own observation, no one would give them money or be willing to learn their art. Theaetetus, they certainly would not. Stranger, but they are willing. Theaetetus, yes, they are. Stranger, yes, and the reason, as I should imagine, is that they are supposed to have knowledge to those things about which they dispute. Theaetetus, certainly. Stranger, and they dispute about all things. Theaetetus, true. Stranger, and therefore to their disciples they appear to be all wise. Theaetetus, certainly. Stranger, but they are not, for that was shown to be impossible. Theaetetus, impossible, of course. Stranger, then the sophist has been shown to have a sort of conjectural or apparent knowledge only of all things, which is not the truth. The other translation, having a kind of belief knowledge about everything, but not the truth. Theaetetus, exactly. No better description of him could be given. Stranger, let us now take an illustration which will still more clearly explain his nature. Theaetetus, what is it? Stranger, I will tell you, and you shall answer me, giving your very closest attention. Suppose that a person were to profess not that he could speak or dispute, but that he knew how to make and do all things by a single art. All things? I see that you do not understand the first word that I utter, for you do not understand the meaning of all. No, I do not. Under all things I include you and me, and also animals and trees. What do you mean? Suppose a person to say that he will make you and me and all creatures. Theaetetus, what would he mean by making? He cannot be a gardener, for he said that he is a maker of, for you said that he was a maker of animals. Well, there are some gardeners that can do all things. I refer you to Sam Gamgee. Stranger, yes, and I say that he is also the maker of the sea and of the earth and of the heavens and of the gods. and all other things, and further that he can make them in no time and sell them for a few pence. Theaetetus. That must be a chest. Stranger. And when a man says that he knows all things and can teach them to another at a small cost and in a short time, is not that a jest? Certainly. Stranger. And is there any more artistic or graceful form of jest than imitation? Theaetetus. Certainly not, and imitation is a very comprehensive term, which includes under the one class the most diverse sort of things. Stranger. We know, of course, that he who professes by one art to make all things is really a painter, and by the painter's art makes resemblances of real things which have the same name with them. And he can deceive the less intelligent sort of young children, to whom he shows his pictures at a distance, into the belief that he has the absolute power of making whatever he likes. Certainly. And may there not be supposed to be an imitative art of reasoning? Is it not possible to enchant the hearts of young men by words poured through their ears, when they are still at a distance from the truth of facts? By exhibiting to them fictitious arguments and making them think that they are true, and that the speaker is the wisest of men in all things. Theaetetus. Yes, why should there not be another such art? Stranger. But as time goes on and their hearers advance in years and come into closer contact with realities and have learned by sad experience to see and feel the truth of things, are not the greater part of them compelled to change many opinions which they formerly entertained, so that the great appears small to them and the easy difficult, and all their dreamy speculations are overturned by the facts of life? Theaetetus. That is my view as far as I can judge, although at my age I may be one of those who see things at a distance only. Stranger. And the wish of all of us who are your friends is and always will be to bring you as near to the truth as we can without the sad reality. And now I should like you to tell me whether the Sophist is not visibly a magician and imitator of true being, or are we still disposed to think that he may have a true knowledge of the various matters about which he disputes? Theaetetus. But how can he, stranger? Is there any doubt after what has been said that he is to be located in one of the divisions of children's play? Stranger. Then we must place him in the class of magicians and mimics. The other translation has cheat or imitator, but the Greek is exactly magicians and mimics. Well, it says wizard and sorcerer for magician, and mimics is mimics. I like the alliteration, magicians and mimics. Theaetetus. Certainly we must. Stranger. And now our business is not to let the animal out, for we have got him in a sort of dialectical net. And there is one thing which he decidedly will not escape. Theotetus, what is that? Stranger, the inference that he is a juggler. Here the other translation has magician. The Greek is thaumatopouou, to do wonders, but also play juggler's tricks. A wonder worker. Today's is precisely my own opinion of him. Stranger, then clearly we ought as soon as possible to divide the image-making art and go down into the net, and if the Sophist does not run away from us, to seize him according to orders and deliver him over to reason, who is the lord of the hunt, and proclaim the capture of him. And if he creeps into the recesses of the imitative art and secretes himself in one of them, to divide again and follow him up until in some subsection of imitation he is caught. For our method of tackling each and all is one which neither he nor any other creature will ever escape in triumph. Theotetus, well said. And let us do as you propose. Stranger, well then, pursuing the same analytic method as before, I think that I can discern two divisions of the imitative art. But I am not as yet able to see in which of them he desired. The desired form is to be found. Theotetus, will you tell me first what are the two divisions of which you are speaking? One is the art of likeness making. Generally, a likeness of anything is made by producing a copy which is executed according to the proportions of the original, similar in length and breadth and depth, each thing receiving also its appropriate color. Theotetus, is not this always the aim of imitation? Stranger, not always. In works either of sculpture or painting which are of any magnitude, there is a certain degree of deception. For artists were to give the true proportions of their fair works, the upper part which is farther off would appear to be out of proportion in comparison with the lower, which is nearer. And so they give up the art and so they give up the truth in their images and make only the proportions which appear to be beautiful, disregarding the real ones. Quite true. And that which being other is also like. May we not fairly call a likeness or image? Yes. And may we not, as I did just now, call that part of the imitative art which is concerned with making such images the art of likeness making? Let that be the name. And what shall we call those resemblances of the beautiful which appear such owing to the unfavorable position of the spectator? Whereas if a person had the power of getting a correct view of works of such magnitude, they would appear not even like that to which they profess to be like. May we not call these appearances? since they appear only and are not really like. Certainly. There is a great deal of this kind of thing in painting and in all imitation, of course. And may we not fairly call this sort of art which produces an appearance and not an image, fantastic art? Most fairly. These then are the two kinds of image making: the art of making likenesses and fantastic, or the art of making appearances. True. Thus far our scripture of the evening. So it seems that Protagoras also had catechisms. I'm not sure if that is how you pronounce it in English. To know everything. I was daydreaming as I was reading about how on earth could one possibly know everything. I imagine talking with experts in all fields is the best possible way to at least touch upon everything, but the depth that one needs, that's what I find now with reading Follies or the unsolicited reading group books. Devoting an entire month to one philosopher does, just 1 month already takes you much deeper than just reading one book after the other. It feels like one could just never get the whole breadth and depth of anything, of everything, definitely not. Folly had, of course, I think I mentioned yesterday that he posted something. I got to view it today. And of course it is extraordinary. It's beautiful. And yes, there's something nostalgic about it, which is strange to say, I suppose. But I had a sense while watching it of watching it 20 years from now, 40 years from now. And thinking how beautiful and young he was. And wondering how his thoughts would have changed in the meantime. But he spoke about the despair that the people felt at the printing press, because suddenly the ideal of knowing everything was proven to be impossible. And that was with just the printing press, never mind the internet and all the knowledge we have gained since. So I'm feeling a bit depressed right now or despair, I should say that. I'm feeling a bit of despair at this moment because of my inability to know everything. I wrote believe knowledge, I don't know why. And I like this idea of the dialectical net. And then the whole division thing makes sense. You keep narrowing down, narrowing down, narrowing down. What is it exactly what we're looking for? What is it exactly that we're talking about? Until you catch what you are looking for, what you're hunting for. And reason then is the lord of the hunt. So the appearance reality thing, which is also big in Plato, the famous Platonic dichotomy, is that what one says, is coming into appearance here, possibly, I'm not sure. Because he speaks not of appearance and reality, but the true image and appearance. But that which is true, and that only that appears to be true. So we'll probably pick that up again tomorrow. And him calling it fantastical images triggered something in my mind, or about Alex's fine last conversation with Philip Pullman, Sir Philip Pullman, about, I think that's where it was, and I think it was his interlocutor, not him himself, that spoke about imagination. Three types of imagination. First order, second order imagination, I'm not sure about that, but then fantasy. And then fantasy being something that we escape reality with. But imagination, and now I'm speaking my own, possibly, I don't know. Imaginations being something we create reality with, or create worlds with. I know John does not like imaginary. He uses imaginal. I cannot use imaginal. It sounds way too pretentious. And it is not what I intend with this, probably. So I'm cool with this being an imaginary monastery. It's not a fantastical monastery. But it is a make-believe monastery. But not an imaginal monastery. I hope you sleep well tonight. Would that we could have a cup of tea now. I have some sleepy time tea. But alas, this is only imaginary. May the spirit of Sophia really be with you.